Mercedes fans were counting this to see the result of their team's technical upgrades and improvements after the FIA new rules changes. However, the race at Spa was a huge disappointment for them. It was a weekend to forget for Mercedes and Hamilton. Moving to Zandvoort, Verstappen's home race, Hamilton was aiming to get at least a podium place. Actually, the driver performed very well and was as close as he never could be to his first win for this very difficult season. But for the second time, Hamilton wasn't lucky to catch up Max Verstappen, who finished first this time too, but at home, this was flavorful. Formula 1 analysts talk about a better performing W13. Porpoising issue was fixed way before the summer break with new floor regulations. Mercedes 2022 car has just started to get into the rhythm. Still need more work on the pace to be able to take advantage over Red Bull and their driver Max Verstappen. The team made already a progress working on this. Verstappen declared just after the race last Sunday that he expected Ferrari to be faster than Mercedes. However, the inverse happened. I was just surprised that they were that quick on the harder compounds. But yeah, I expected probably Mercedes to be a little bit slower, and I expected Ferrari to be a little bit faster. How could Mercedes engineers make the W13 go faster than Ferrari? What are the changes Mercedes staff introduced to accelerate their car's pace? Are there any coming upgrades the team will be adding before the Italian Grand Prix this weekend? Keep on watching, guys. We'll be answering all these questions. So after a very painful failure for Hamilton at Zandvoort, the 7-time world champion was out of control. I couldn't accept the fact that he lost the opportunity for the first win of the season, especially at the homeland of his rival Max Verstappen. Hamilton delivered a strong, angry message with expletive over team's radio and considered his team's staff as the main factor behind his failure this time. While Toto Wolff, the team principal, defended the decision they took during his post-race interview, admitting they took a risk but unfortunately went bad for Lewis, so he apologized for that and said that this will be another lesson to learn from. Yeah, Lewis, sorry it didn't work out. We did what we discussed in the morning. We took a risk, it didn't work. Let's discuss it between us in the office. After accusing the car several times, Mercedes team are now suspicious about Yuki Tsunoda, and they are actually talking about a possible cheating Red Bull did working with AlphaTauri to guarantee winning at Zandvoort, especially that Mercedes showed a significant improvement in pace. Looks like a scenario without actually some concrete arguments. Toto Wolff believes Yuki Tsunoda's mid-race stoppage during the Sunday race might be the factor that cost Lewis Hamilton a shot at victory over Max Verstappen. The virtual safety car stoppage for AlphaTauri's driver Tsunoda 2/3 into the race gave Verstappen a free pit stop before the physical safety car came and allowed the Dutch to make another change and overtake Lewis Hamilton. I think we would have had a fair shot at the win. The race planner said the win was on. It was very close, but it was on. The driver stopped and balked, did a full lap, came in, the problem wasn't solved. They put the seatbelt back on and drove out and stopped the car again. That probably has changed the outcome of the race that we maybe could have won. Asked if they could claim for an investigation from the Formula 1 governing body, Wolff answered that his team have lost the chance to fight for the title, and claiming for the FIA to review the incident in this case don't help the team anyway. Instead of this, Wolff prefers the FIA continue their investigation for driver safety and his team continue focusing on improving their car's performance. If we were to fight for a championship, that would be something I would closely look at. Now I think what needs to be investigated for the safety of drivers and everybody out there. But let's find out why Mercedes were able to take advantage of Ferrari and almost win the race. Actually, the team figured out what was holding the W13 pace after the disappointing race in Belgium. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, said that his team's engineer analyzed the car's performance and pace changes between Saturday and Sunday during the Belgian Grand Prix. Difficult races are the one to conclude more information and use them to improve. Wolff admitted that his team can work now faster, understanding their flaws and working on them in a very short time. James Allison, Mercedes Chief Technical Officer, explained that the improvement in their car's pace is something they have been working on in parallel since Budapest. Speaking on Mercedes debris video on YouTube, Allison stated, "This pattern hasn't been just in Spa. It's actually been there most of the season. In Budapest, we made some steps. We managed to move forward and we were able to qualify on pole, but that was also a little bit of an outlier in itself. Normally, prior to that, Ferrari could be up to 6/10 faster in qualifying, and yet we were able to close in on them in the race. The approach and philosophy on what you're doing in terms of prioritizing race pace or qualifying pace might be different between the two teams. Obviously, the numbers are large. They are far more vast than we'd normally see. You'd normally expect 10th or 2 swing, not a second. What I can say is we're gaining to them on degradation during the race. Part of it might be just how the tires are being used and car performance. Part of it it's degradation. And the bias we've got is the one that is scoring points race on race. James Allison has said there will be plenty more improvements coming to the W13 as they search for a way back to the front. He added that the upgrades will continue to come to the W13 as the season progresses, as previously mentioned by the team's principal Toto Wolff, saying still much work to do to get Mercedes battling Red Bull and Ferrari for the remaining races of the season. In terms of the upgrades themselves, yes, they are incremental steps. They are small steps that we are added to the car, but the important point is we have plans to introduce far more across the races that follow. We won't be able in one go just to catch up and be with Ferrari and Red Bull, but hopefully, as you have seen across the season so far, we're incrementally closing that gap down and we have more to come. Allison believes that improving the qualifying is the main factor to allow Mercedes to win the final race, and this will be the principal element they will be focusing on these days for the Italian Grand Prix. So after several technical upgrades, Mercedes are working now on their strategy in order to reduce the gap with their rivals. Clearly though, we have to improve our qualifying position because it's not just relative to Ferrari. In order to get our first win this season, we have to make sure that qualifying improves from where it is, and that's the focus that hasn't been this race. We have been looking at it across the season and will continue to do so. Tell us in the comment below, what do you think about the W13 pace during the Sunday race, and can Mercedes really be able to catch Red Bull in the coming races? That was all for today's video guys. Drop a like, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, see you next time.